Portugal, a land carved by the Atlantic. A land of rugged cliffs, where the ocean never rests. A land of mountain peaks and green volcanic craters, where cattle graze inside nature's amphitheaters. A land of golden beaches kissed by endless sunshine. And a land of giants, where Nazaré holds the record for the highest surfable waves on Earth, drawing the bravest surfers from around the world. It is a country of fairy tale castles perched on forested hills, of hidden caves sculpted by the sea. Of timeless coastal villages with whitewashed houses and red rooftops. Here, history and adventure meet at every corner, from medieval fortresses to volcanic hot springs, from remote islands to bustling cities. This is Portugal, a small nation with an extraordinary soul, where every valley, every wave, and every stone tells a story. Stay with us as we uncover its wonders, and perhaps your next destination.
Our journey begins on the westernmost edge of Europe, where a hidden valley awaits, Poço da Ribeira do Ferreiro. Here, dozens of waterfalls cascade down towering volcanic cliffs, forming a living curtain of water that changes with every rainfall. This valley, sculpted millions of years ago by fire and shaped endlessly by rain, is part of the mid-Atlantic ridge, where continents meet and the earth is still alive beneath our feet. Known as the Valley of Waterfalls, this secluded paradise is protected as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, sheltering rare plants and vibrant birdlife. For those who wander its forest trails, the reward is not just the sight of nature's grandeur, but the feeling of stepping into another world. From Flores, our path leads east to the slender island of São Jorge, a ribbon of green stretched across the Atlantic. It is one of the 9 islands of the Azores, stretching 54 kilometers in length, but only about 6 kilometers in width. Its narrow shape gives it the nickname the Island of Feijões. These feijões are flat, fertile areas created when volcanic cliffs collapsed into the ocean, or when lava flows reached the sea. The island is famous for its dramatic cliffs, its traditional dairy farming, and the world-renowned São Jorge cheese. Hiking here offers some of the most challenging trails in the Azores, with routes leading down to isolated feijões, where small villages still preserve their old way of life. For adventurers, São Jorge is ideal for mountain trekking, canyoning, and coastal kayaking, all while surrounded by the raw Atlantic. Standing tall on rugged cliffs, the lighthouses of the Azores have guided sailors through the treacherous Atlantic for centuries. At the foot of São Jorge's volcanic mountains lies a picturesque village, where white houses with red tile roofs stand out against a backdrop of deep green hills. The settlement reflects the classic Azorean style, simple yet striking in its harmony with the landscape. Even here, modern life blends with tradition. A small stadium rests at the village's edge, framed by cliffs and the ocean beyond. On the island of São Miguel lies one of Portugal's greatest natural treasures, Lagoa de Sete Cidades. Two lakes, one green and one blue, said to be formed from the tears of a shepherd and a princess, forbidden to be together, his tears blue and hers green. But science tells another story, of eruptions, collapse and rebirth. Today villages sit along its shores, and trails crown its rim, offering views that seem painted by another world. Floating just off the coast lies Vila Franca do Campo, a tiny volcanic islet shaped like a perfect ring. Its lagoon, once the mouth of a crater, now forms a natural swimming pool, calm and sheltered from the open Atlantic. Declared a marine reserve, it is a sanctuary for seabirds and rare fish. Each summer, swimmers, snorkelers, and divers come here to step into waters as clear as glass within a jewel sculpted by fire. Not far from Sete Cidades, the earth reveals its restless soul. In Furnace Valley, steam rises from boiling mud pools and bubbling springs. Here, geothermal energy has shaped both land and culture. Locals bury pots of stew beneath the soil, letting the heat of the earth itself slow cook their meals. For visitors, the valley offers gardens, thermal baths, and a glimpse into the volcanic heart that still beats beneath the Azores. Rising 2,351 meters above the Atlantic, Mount Pico is not only the highest mountain in Portugal, but also one of the world's great stratovolcanoes. Formed by powerful eruptions less than 300,000 years ago, its slopes still carry traces of lava flows that shaped the island's traumatic landscape. Lagoa do Capitão rests quietly in the shadow of Mount Pico, its calm waters reflecting the towering volcano. This volcanic lagoon is surrounded by lush pastures and forests, a favorite stop for hikers and a window into Pico Sep's rich ecosystem. From above, Pico Island appears as a green quilt, vineyards, pastures, and forest merging seamlessly with volcanic stone. At sunset, the coastal town of Madeira glows in golden light, with Mount Pico towering majestically in the background. This town is the island set's cultural hub and gateway to Pico's most famous treasures, from its UNESCO-listed vineyards to whale-watching expeditions that trace the migration routes of giants of the sea. The road to Lagoa do Capitão stretches straight through volcanic highlands, a path framed by endless green and the silhouette of Mount Pico rising ahead. Here, a volcanic crater has transformed into a living pasture. Its slopes, once carved by molten lava, now cradle some of the richest soil in the Atlantic. Today, free-roaming cattle graze peacefully inside this natural amphitheater. Cows are part of the soul of the Azores. These volcanic meadows provide the perfect conditions for grass-fed farming, producing the island's world-renowned milk and cheeses, still made by traditional methods passed down through generations. It is a remarkable contrast, a place forged by fire, now nurturing life. What was once a scar of the earth has become one of its most beautiful pastures, where nature and tradition coexist in harmony. Far from the Atlantic islands, mainland Portugal rises to its highest point, Serra da Estrela, the three-star mountain. These granite peaks, capped with snow in winter, are the only place in Portugal where alpine landscapes truly exist. Serra da Estrela is not just a place of beauty, it is adventure. Portugal's only ski resort sits here, drawing visitors to carved slopes between rugged peaks. This region is also famous for its traditions, shepherding, wool textiles, and the Serra da Estrela cheese, Portugal's most celebrated, made from sheep's milk, that has been part of this mountain culture for centuries. Serra da Estrela stands as a world apart, a land where history, culture, and raw natural beauty meet at the roof of Portugal. On Portugal's rugged Atlantic coast lies Nazaré, a small fishing town above one of the ocean's greatest mysteries, the Nazaré Canyon. This underwater gorge plunges nearly 5,000 meters deep, funneling immense energy straight toward the shore. Here at the fort of São Miguel Arcanjo, spectators gather to witness the impossible, walls of water rising higher than 10-story buildings. In winter, Nazaré becomes the stage for the biggest waves ever surfed. The unique shape of the canyon amplifies incoming swells, creating liquid mountains that test the limits of human courage. It was here that world records were broken, with waves exceeding 30 meters, making Nazaré the undisputed capital of big wave surfing. But beyond the thrill, Nazaré remains a traditional fishing village, whitewashed houses, seafood markets, and the rhythm of the Atlantic define daily life, adventure, and heritage, side by side.
Rising above the misty forests of the Sintra Mountains stands the Peña Palace, a dreamlike castle painted in vivid reds and yellows, as if lifted from the pages of a storybook. Built in the 19th century by King Ferdinand II, Peña was one of the very first Romanticist palaces in Europe, a bold blend of Gothic towers, Renaissance arches, and Moorish domes, all fused into one dazzling creation. What many don't know is that this flamboyant palace was built atop the ruins of a medieval monastery, destroyed by the Great Lisbon earthquake of 1755. Its stones still lie hidden within the new walls. And today it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, drawing travelers into a world of legends, castles, and secret gardens. Deep in the Ribeira Grande Valley, hidden among dense laurel forests, flows Cascada das Lombadas, one of the most secluded waterfalls in the Azores. Fed by mountain springs, the waters carve their way through volcanic rock before cascading into emerald pools below. Few visitors ever find their way here, which makes the falls a secret kept by locals. The surrounding slopes are covered with cryptomeria forests, introduced from Japan, which now give the valley its striking green canopy. Beneath them, the volcanic soils nurture rare plants found only in the Azores. On Portugal's southern edge lies Carvoeiro, a coastal town where whitewashed houses perch above golden limestone cliffs, sculpted by the Atlantic for millions of years. This is the Algarve, famous for its hidden coves and sea-carved grottos. Narrow trails wind down cliffs to beaches, so secluded they can only be reached on foot, or by the ocean itself. Kayakers and small boats weave between arches and sea stacks, exploring caves that glow with reflected light. The most iconic, the Benagil Cave, is a natural cathedral with a sunlit dome open to the sky. At Ponta de Piade, wind and waves have carved the cliffs into a labyrinth of towers and arches, one of the Algarve's most photographed landscapes. High above the forests of Sintra, the walls of the Moorish castle stretch across the mountain crest, guarding the land for nearly 1,000 years. Built by the Moors in the 8th and 9th centuries, this stronghold once commanded the approaches to Lisbon, watching over trade routes and protecting fertile valleys below. Built by the Moors in the 8th and 9th centuries, this stronghold once commanded the approaches to Lisbon, watching over trade routes and protecting fertile valleys below. Today, the Castle Sip's ramparts offer some of the finest views in all of Portugal, across the Sintra Hills, over Peña Palace, and out to the endless Atlantic horizon. Carved by the relentless force of the Atlantic, hidden along the Algarve coast lies one of Portugal's most breathtaking natural wonders, the Beniguil Cave. Step inside Portugal's most magical sea cave. Here, golden limestone walls rise like a cathedral, curving around the turquoise Atlantic waters. Above, a vast circular opening lets sunlight stream through the roof, painting the cave in shades of gold and blue. Every wave that enters whispers the story of centuries of erosion, slowly sculpting this hidden paradise. To stand beneath Beniguil is to feel the raw power and beauty of the ocean, a masterpiece carved by time itself. Perched high on a granite mountain in central Portugal lies Monsanto, a village where stone and life have merged for centuries. Here, massive granite boulders form the very walls and roofs of homes. Streets wind between rocks as if the village itself was carved out of the mountain. At its summit rises the Lucano Tower, crowned with a silver rooster, a national symbol awarded in 1938. When Monsanto was named the most Portuguese of Portugal's 6 villages. Above the town, the ruins of a 12th century castle watch over the plains, a reminder of centuries of battles fought on this frontier between Christian and Moorish kingdoms. Far out in the Atlantic, closer to Africa than to Portugal, rises the island of Madeira, a volcanic fortress wrapped in emerald cliffs and crashing seas. When Portuguese explorers first landed here in 1419, they found a land so dense with forests that they set fire to it, and the blaze is said to have burned for 7 straight years, clearing space for the first settlements. Today, Madeira feels like a frontier between land and ocean, with villages clinging to steep cliffs, natural volcanic pools carved by fire and cooled by the sea, and trails that lead through mist-shrouded peaks once believed to be home to spirits. It's no wonder sailors called it the Island of Eternal Spring, part paradise, part untamed adventure. Hidden in the mountains of Faith stands one of Portugal's strangest dwellings, the Casa do Penedo, or Stone House. Built in 1974, this mountain retreat was crafted between 4 massive boulders, giving it the look of something straight out of the Flintstones. What makes it fascinating is that it was never meant to be a tourist attraction. It was a private holiday home, designed to blend into the wild granite landscape. Yet over the years, its unusual design has drawn adventurers and curious travelers from around the world. Lisbon, Portugal's capital, rises along the wide Tagus River, a city of 7 hills, tiled facades, and centuries of history. Across the water, the Cristo Rei monument stands watch, arms open in blessing over the city. Inaugurated in 1959, it was built as a symbol of gratitude for Portugal's escape from the destruction of World War II. Today, it's not only a site of pilgrimage, but also one of Lisbon's best viewpoints, offering sweeping views of the 25 de Abril Bridge, the river, and the red rooftops of the city below. Lisbon's story blends Roman foundations, Moorish walls, and maritime glory. A city that launched explorers into the unknown seas, and still today welcomes travelers from around the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Portugal's wonders. If you enjoyed the adventure, don't forget to subscribe for more. Until our next destination, safe travels, and take care. And don't miss our next film, The Wonders of the United Kingdom.